down today. I'm not in the hospital.
No problem, but you can tell them that. So let's see.
For me to
whether
wipe
we-
this, just take a picture of.
Oh, please. Good. Let's see. 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 All right. Kindly use this link. Uh, Link to draw. Right. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another session, another day of our session with Uncle Ben. Today, today promises to be all shades of amazing. Please confirm, Vicky. I can see you on you. I can see you on stage. Confirm if you can hear me loud and clear, please. Please confirm if you can hear me, Vicky. I'll be glad. One, two, mic check. One, two. Can anybody hear me on the live? I can hear you, sir. Very good, very good. Welcome, 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 everybody, to another episode of our Day 30 Masterclass with Dr. Ben Preye Baldwin. I encourage you as you join us today to please stay tuned. I need you to be focused because today's session is going to be revealing a lot many of you don't know, most of you don't know. I know we've heard about vocal pedagogy from speaker one, speaker two, and speaker three from Jessica. We heard it from Linda, from Reginald, and then from Chisom. Today is another dimension of our masterclass, and I promise you, you cannot afford not to be in this session. Without any further ado, while we wait for others to join, I can see we have 7 viewers currently at the moment. I'm going to bring our speaker up, Dr. Ben Preye Baldwin. Note he doesn't like the doctor part, the title part, so you might as well just call him Uncle. He's Uncle Ben, one of Nigeria prolific um, speakers and music enthusiasts, well known around the world. And I am not kidding, word for word, well known around the world. He has a phenomenal personality, and we cannot wait. I personally cannot wait to share from his expertise. All right, without any further ado, I'm going to bring up on stage Uncle Ben Preye Baldwin, Dr. Ben. Everybody.
Hi, Matt. Hi, everybody. Let's just check that you can hear me. Let's just check that you can see me. And if you can, put something in chat. Let me know you're here. Aha, I think I
Great.
can see people who are typing already. Is
Okay,
that to me? Let's just check. If you can hear me, just type in there. Yes, Uncle Ben, I know you're there. And then I'll know you're there, people. Thanks, Vicky. That's kind of you. Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm seeing those comments coming in. And everybody, look, as musicians, one of the things that we do is we carry people along, we work together. And so today, this is not an Uncle Ben show. This is our show, which means I would require you to work with me. We're going to do stuff together. Okay. And I will start really by saying three things I already know that we can all agree on. The first one is that every one of you on this live, you've sung for people before. And number two is that every one of you, at some point, you've been nervous while singing. And the third thing I think I already know about all of us that we can agree on is that every one of you has at least once watched a performance and you're like, you never forgot that. It's like, this is not one I can forget at all. It's memorable. It's etched into me forever. Which means somewhere inside you, you already know what tonight is about. And my job is just to help you notice what you know. We've got about 90 minutes tonight, so let's have fun. The chat is open the whole way through, and I will be asking you to use it. So say hello in there now. People are already doing that. And let me know where you're watching from and what you most want to get out of today. So I'm sure that we're in it together. Where are you watching from? And most importantly, what are you hoping to get out of today? People are typing. Let's see.
All right, let's have it, guys. Where are you watching from and what are you hoping to get from today?
Hi, Chidimma from Abuja. Emmanuel, you're from Calabar. Messereo. We have someone from Makodi. Okay. So you guys can definitely hear me. And what are you really most hoping to get out of today from this session? Hi, Benedict. I can see you. And Modesta. Okay. So if there's one thing you want to learn, right? Chidima says, I'm hoping to learn how to be present, or how to present a song without feeling nervous. I've got you. Okay, well, we'll get to that. Yes. Anyone else? Abigail from Abuja, you want to own any stage you are sent through your performance. I love that word. That word, I want to own the stage. I've got you. That's why we are here today. So let's get on with this then. My journey as a musician has been an interesting one because I started, Bridget from Lagos. Okay, let's say I'm hoping to get tips on how to contain nerves completely and how to always pass the message I came to pass with my music across without nerves getting in the way. And Emmanuel wants to learn how to manage nervousness. And Vicky from Owerri Kanye, I'm hoping to get more insight on voice transition. And Modesta, you want to sing a song like your own. Okay, so the common theme here really is that everyone here wants to be able to stand there like Stephanie and communicate and be with your audience. Just do it confidently, do it like you mean it. And that's what we're going to do today. I'm a scientist, a physicist, and an actual scientist. And I'm also a hypnopsychotherapist, so psychology stuff. And a musician. And there are many different parts to me. And my journey has been quite interesting. Like many of you, I started singing in the choir, and I moved from part to part. I was that alto that was doing descants, and then puberty hit, and then I found myself in bass, which I struggled with, and eventually to tenor, and so on. And the thing is, through all of those experiences, what I developed was range. And then, but when I became a tenor, I wasn't very confident because I had spent years as a boy treble and an alto. I was so comfortable there. To change was very difficult for me. And it was at this point that I got discovered and started taking actual voice training. And I worked with so many different teachers, I was insisting that I was a baritone. And my teachers would say to me, you're just a lazy tenor. And then at some point at this point when I was in Nottingham, the music director was working with insisted, no, you are not just a tenor, you're a tenor 1, not even a tenor 2. And the story started changing from there. Then when I started training at the Warwick Music Center, I worked with vocal coaches that completely transformed what they saw in my voice. So yeah, Ben, you've got thick vocal cords, which is why you can produce very big sound. But that doesn't mean you're a baritone. So I had to start unlearning practices, unlearning certain things. And then eventually my training moved me to working with Italians, which completely changed my understanding of my vocal anatomy and what I could do with my voice. But in between all of those, I was also training as a performer, not just a singer. So standing and doing things. But the other side of my life means that I travel a lot, stand on lots of stages and speak to people. And I had to learn how to engage with people, how to work with people. And as an artist, you're looking at how do I bring all of me into what I'm doing? And it starts with one thing that is crucially important. Because in all my experience, this one thing I've learned is a humbling fact, mainly as a singer, and that is that no matter how good or how ready you are, your audience cannot hear what you hear. No matter how good or how ready you are, your audience cannot hear what you hear. What you hear yourself is always never what and how your audience hears you. Let that sink in for a moment. So you've spent the last 3 weekends or so learning a lot about singing. You've had 3 sessions of beautiful work with great singers who have talked to you about breathing, posture, phonation, and a lot more. But when it comes to standing in front of people to deliver, do you know that the person that's sitting at the back of the room in your next performance, right? They cannot see your breathing. They cannot feel your throat. They would never once in their life bother about what's happening inside your neck. And that's because none of that really matters to them. What they carry home instead is a feeling. They won't remember whether your top note was perfect, but they will remember whether they were moved, happened in that room, whether there was magic. I've been to a tech conference, like room full of scientists and really professionals. This was not a classical music concert. I was delivering a keynote address at the event, but the room was so beautiful. It was a theater. I thought, I've got to sing. So to open the show, I sang a song. And when I stood and sang, you know, when you finish singing and everywhere is silent for a moment, and then people then erupt. After that time, I got invited year on year, not just to speak, but say, can you sing first, please? Why? Because it's not because I've got the best voice in the world. It's not because I'm the most experienced singer in the world. It was because I stood there and shared a feeling and created a moment. And that's what today's conversation is all about. So tonight sits in the middle of your series, and I want you to use it differently. And we will do this in 2 parts. And then I'll take some questions because I like things to be practical. For the first part of this conversation tonight, we'll spend about 10 minutes or so on the instrument itself, the instrument being your voice. And it will serve as a recap of what you've learned so far, because you've covered a lot over 3 weeks. Breathing here, posture here, vowels, tone, and things learned in pieces stick better once somebody puts the pieces together for you. And obviously, airtime to the thing we perform with. Imagine a talk about driving that never mentions the car. That would be a strange talk, yeah? So I'll spend a little time talking about the instrument again, and
right.
it will remind you things you've heard about, or maybe some new aspects of it. And then the second part is the heart of tonight. We'll dive deeper into performing. We'll explore what actually happens between you and an audience. And we'll talk about when a performance really begins, who you're singing to, and even how to say it like you mean it. You know, some of these things you people have said in chat here. What do you do when things go wrong? And how do you make an evening and create an evening, a moment that people can't stop talking about afterwards? And so this will be the second part, after which the chat will open fully and we'll talk, because the questions are usually where the good shift happens. And I would like us to have that good, real big, nice shift. One more thing about part one before we start. Remember, you've picked up a lot of things already, so a lot of it may not be new. However, the recap that I'm providing ends at a single idea, and everything in part two is built on it. So watch for it as we go.
That's right.
Right. Let me still check that everybody can see and hear me as we start with our part one. Yeah. Just type it in there for me. Hi, Maria. Can you see? Can you hear me? I'm not seeing anything come through yet, but we'll go ahead. I suppose people can still see and hear. Oh, right. Thanks, Bridget. Okay. So let's start with the only instrument that I will hold tonight that is not your voice, that's not the body. Okay. This is a violin. Just watch closely because I'm about to play it. Now, I hope you can hear it. Nothing. Obviously nothing, right? Because a violin that is held in the air is just a wooden box. The sound of a violin is the actual sound you hear is the last thing to happen. Everything else comes first. For example, it's got to sit on the body. I've got to put the wrist in the right way. The fingers have got to go somewhere. I've got to bring a bow. And then when all of that is right, the sound you can hear a sound. And you see, the sound can be, that's not a beautiful sound right there. It's not the sound I'm making. Because it's one thing to get everything ready, it's another thing to make it the right type of sound. Okay? And then if I want to start playing something else, I can keep going as the case might be. But the key thing is not about holding a violin or making a sound on a violin. It's the fact that you will never catch a violinist staring at the violin hoping for a better sound. Oh, let me play my sound. It's a scratchy sound. Okay, but I can stare at it and get a better sound. No, I just have to adjust myself better and pick what I want to pick. And then you get the sound. And the thing is that a violinist holds the instrument, but for you and I as singers, we don't hold our instruments because you are your instrument. Your body is your instrument, all of it. So from all the way down to your pelvic floor, down the belly, to the top of your head, it's all part of your instrument. And most of it, all the pieces of your instrument are hidden where you can't see them. That's why singers get tricked into chasing the sound instead of minding the setup. So let me pull a few of the hidden pieces. Let's put them out and put it where you can see them. Okay. So first of all, where does the sound even start? That's a question, but let's do it together. So what I'll ask you to do is just close your lips softly and blow through them so they bubble. So basically, that movement, still where you are. If you're doing it now, you've heard about lip trills, but see what my lips are doing. Feel what's happening. Air is coming up from below. The lips are closed, so they're adducted, as we say, and air is pushing through them, setting them vibrating. Nothing comes out but breath. So the lips have to come together first, and then the air makes them move and dance. That's exactly how your voice starts. I'll show you something right there with this one. So Matt, let's bring that image I put up, please.
All right. Gotta bring these up.
So you must have heard a lot about larynx, the voice box. This little thing is not big at all. And what you're looking at here, those vocal cords, those things that you see there are very much like lips. So right here, they're open. This is when you take a breath, they're open. There's not going to be any sound. For there to be sound, they need to come together. And for there to be even better sound, they need to stay together and move like, I think we've lost that image again. Yeah. And move like the lips were moving earlier on. And you see that little epiglottis there is the thing that covers it to stop food from going in there when you swallow. And you can see your trachea and all of that there. And then the pharynx, you must have heard about pharynx and space. Where that word pharynx is sitting, that little thing there, the soft palate or the uvula, that thing, you must have heard it when people say, oh, just raise it, go into a yawn. This is what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so when we talk about vocal folds, we're talking about the things that make up those cords right there. And you can see that there are many things going on. This is part of your instrument. Those two things are the strings that you play. On their own, there's no sound, but there's a whole lot of stuff that needs to come together for the sound to happen, for the space to be created. So hold this image in mind in some way as we carry on, okay? Because this sits deep inside your throat, those two folds, the soft tissue right there. Okay. Now, I'll use this instead. We can let the picture go now. Okay. Because the rubber band I've got here, just imagine that these two sides, they are just those vocal folds, right? Which in the picture, you see they look a little bit like that. Those two things holding them on either side. For you to sing, they need to come together. Okay. Now, those vocal folds behave a lot like this rubber band. They stretch. That thing in front, do we still have the image up here?
Yes, we do.
Where you've got...
Yes, we do.
Thank you. Okay. So just where those two vocal cords come together, below it, there's a little V shape there. That bone, this thing here, for men. So if you have ever had a tilt, when you're going up, you need to tilt the larynx. That's what they mean. It's like that pulls the vocal cord down a little bit, like pulls it and stretches it a little bit more tighter so you can get a higher pitch. Okay, so to produce a higher pitch, then what happens to the vocal folds or vocal cords is that they get longer and thinner and tighter, just like the rubber band I have. So when you sing what we call a high note, excuse me, nothing in your body goes up. The folds just stretch, just like the rubber band. So as strange as it sounds, there are no high notes. Can someone type that in somewhere? There are no high notes. They don't exist. Yeah, there are no high notes. Because the vocal cords, they don't go up and down. Rather, what we have, you can call them long notes. So notes that are going in and out, like that. When you're doing the low notes, the vocal cords are shorter. When you're doing the high notes, they're longer and tighter. All right. The idea of high notes actually was borrowed from sheet music, where the music notes can sit higher on the page. But your body doesn't know about, your body is not about sheet music. Your body works anatomically. So when your body, when your mind says high, your body helpfully tries to go up. And what happens when we want to sing that? The chin goes up, the throat rises, the shoulders creep towards the ears, there's tension and all sorts going on here. And when all of that is happening, your body then is automatically fighting the stretch, which is what it needs to do automatically and naturally. A little bit like when you yawn. Everything relaxes, just really relaxes. Now, if you yawn and then close the vocal cords and adduct it, a little bit like if I want to punch you and you're about to receive a punch in your tummy, that thing you do, that's a closure right there. So if you keep that position, and you will have a beautiful high note immediately, because the vocal cords are closed in so well to allow the air that's coming to vibrate them. And when they are vibrating, there's now space for that sound to resonate. And you have a free sound. Okay? So the next time a big note is coming, catch the picture in your head. And if you're imagining climbing something, just swap it. Imagine this instead. Let it stretch, let it stretch, let it stretch, let it stretch, let it stretch. So just let it stretch, let it stretch.
Nice. Wow.
Okay. Things that creep upwards when they shouldn't. Let me show you the biggest culprit here. We've been talking about the larynx. This time, I just want you to do this with me, okay? Just put two fingers gently on your, I mean, if you're a man, you will immediately identify it. If you're a woman, you just find it, right? Just in front of your throat. There's a little bump there. That's your voice box. That's where the larynx is. So look, is that small? What produces the big sound is this small in your body, by the way. Yeah? So just put your fingers there and then swallow. You will see it jump. Did you feel it jump? That's your voice box doing its day job, which has nothing to do with singing. The day job is just keeping food out of your windpipe, basically. Okay, it's a safety guard. It jumps when it senses effort. So when you push, when you strain, when you panic a little, it does exactly what it's built to do. It jumps up, and when it jumps up, something else is being put out of place. Okay. The other thing is that it doesn't only move when you swallow. Again, keep your fingers there and say the 5 vowels with me slowly. A, E, O, U. You will feel it dancing up and down, because every vowel puts it somewhere slightly different. Okay? A, E, O, U. But now let's just do the last one, the U. Just do U, U, U. Feel where it went. It went down. It's the lowest of the 5. And remember that V-shaped thing in that picture, it goes down. When it goes down, it creates more opening. And if this is stretched, a sound, a higher pitch, it will be produced. Okay? So your body already knows where low and relaxed is. And the U vowel would literally sit there. It walks itself there by itself. So why do we care where that sits? It is because of the idea of space. Again, look, this violin here, this box here this is the space for the sound to be produced. If I covered all the space there will not be any sound. You will not hear it. I hope I can show this here. Okay, a bit like this is a bass guitar right here. Is an electric one, so you won't hear much. This is not the sound of a bass guitar because it's not amplified. If I plug it to the amplifier, you'll hear a sound. But if this was open, you will hear a bigger sound, because that's what allows the air to spin, to vibrate, to move. Okay, I need to put this down safely so I don't break it. So your air, you don't sing the breath. The job of the breath is to create the vibration of your vocal folds, and that vibration, as it's then changing length, creates pitches, the music, the actual sound, and then the space you create makes it resonate and bigger. Okay? When we don't have the space, the vibration from the folds is not nice sound yet. On its own, it's raw, just like a phone is buzzing on the table. But that space is what creates the beautiful sound. It's your throat and above, all of this place, all. Okay, thinking of this, maybe if you imagine being in an empty house and then you shout or you make a sound, the sound will change. That's because the space has changed. When there are more things, there's less space for the sound waves to bounce around and to increase.
True.
Okay.
True.
So your throat is that room, and the exact shape of your room is why you sound like you and nobody else on earth. Now connect the two ideas together. When the voice box climbs, it squeezes that room. It becomes less space and it's less thinner, tighter, shoutier sound. It's not a nice sound at all. More space gives a rounder, warmer, richer tone. So when a teacher or your music director says, keep it low and relax, what they're actually saying is keep the space open. When you hear about yawn, it's also saying keep the space open. Okay. And let me share something that might change how you sing words forever. Most of us assume that vowels are made out from here. R, A, E, O, U. We move the lips too much. But watch my mouth. I, O, I, O, I, every vowel came out clear and my lips did nothing, because vowels are really produced deeper in the throat. You can't produce your sound deep in there, right where your fingers were earlier on. So try it where you are now. Try it. Just go, and then, your tongue, the root of your tongue will move, which is okay, but not your lips. And this is part of the secret behind smooth, unbroken lines that you hear with great singers, because the words keep changing while the space stays open. How do you find that open position on purpose? Well, you already do it every day. And just like I showed you, fingers there and a yawn. Right in there.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. So that's the position. And you can do whatever. And that's all it takes. So let's do something else. Now, hum with me. But this time, I want you to rest the finger just on the side of your nose when you hum. If you do it right, you feel a little tickle. And that's your own sound vibrating in the bones on your face. Some of you will feel it in the cheekbones, and the more you do it, you may feel it a little bit more around your forehead, because the sound starts to flow. That buzz means something simple. It means that your spaces are opening and your sound is traveling well. And the people listening, they never receive it. They don't live inside you, so they can't feel that sensation. But for you, I think about it like the dashboard of a car. The passengers may be looking at the road, but only the driver sees the fuel gauge and your indicators and things like that. So you don't chase the buzz for the audience. You learn to notice it for yourself. And that buzz explains a phrase that I'm sure you may hear, you might have heard before. So old Italian teachers used to tell their singers, canta nella maschera, canta nella maschera, canta nella maschera. Nella maschera, canta, sing. This is sing in the mask. Maschera is the mask. Okay. And that's mascara was named after masquerades, when they wear the mask to cover their face. So basically, when they say canta nella maschera, what they are saying is sense your own buzz. You may hear people say, no, voice placement. No, what we really mean is not put a voice in your face, because you can't really put a voice in your face. What we're really saying is allow the sound to go where it wants to go. Okay, so the whole Italian school of singing, which I've spent a lot of time training in, is built on that one thing, which is feeling the mechanism working in your own body. Lavorare muscolare, work the muscles. Feel is an instrument. When I pick up my violin, I can feel it resting here. I can feel what's going on. I'm not depending on the sound. The same way many of us start and sing, but we can't feel anything about our instrument. Meanwhile, it's part of your own body. Okay, so I don't know if anyone has had a moment where you sing a really good high note. It just comes in ringing, it's free, and then you feel a bit floaty for a second, almost lightheaded, like the notes happened above your own head. Well, if you have, you weren't imagining it, because again, at full stretch, a ringing sound can set your whole skull, the bone in your head, vibrating. Okay, there's a little caution here anyway, because when it vibrates, you get a shimmery type of feeling around the note. Now, if you feel proper dizzy, that's a different thing altogether, because that usually means that your breathing has gone a bit wrong. You are over breathing. And if that surprises you, because you've been told all your life to take a big breath for long phrases, hold that thought, because my next prop that I'll bring up is going to explain everything. Because notice what that buzz and the shimmer of a high floating free note have in common. Again, they are feelings. No sound lives in your face, no sound lives in your head. They are outcomes. When the instrument is set up right, this is what feels right. The right feel comes from inside. Okay. Now, this is my next prop. It's a syringe. Okay. And if there's anything that you take from today, please take this. This is your entire singing mechanism in one little prop. So now breathing. This syringe, think about it like your breathing system shrunk down. Okay. This barrel here, the one out here, is your lungs, which you feel when you pull. Is at the moment is filling with air. If I did it with liquid, it will fill with that liquid. See the top of this plunger, the black bit here, think about that as your diaphragm. That flat disc is your diaphragm. That big muscle sitting under your lungs that is dome shaped and is round, is all the way to your back. So many people don't breathe into their back. They just, no. You see, this is cylindrical. Think about yourself as a singer, as a cylinder. And your job, when you talk about support, it's like you want to lean on the walls of your own body, as if you want to keep your body perpetually expanded like that. When you breathe to your back, all the way down, and you keep it down. Now, your lungs, your diaphragm will start to push, and your lungs will start to release air to go like this. Your job is to keep your body like that, even when your air is going like that. It's muscle antagonism, but that is where you're providing support to create the space for the sound to ring. Okay, so there's a difference between, let me see if I can collapse and do this. And keeping it expanded. So your body all the way around, you keep it, you keep it, you keep it. That's the support, and this is why it's muscular work. Your muscles are working. So that think about, I think about myself as a big cylinder all the way down. Yeah. Now the big muscle sitting in under your lung, the diaphragm, is that black part, and then the rest of this plunger is literally the part doing the driving. These are your belly muscles, the base, and the base of this barrel right here. Think about that as your pelvic floor, right down to literally your bottom. So if you imagine when you're using the toilet and you need to stop the wee, for example, that's that muscle. Okay. And then right at the top, this tiny bit here, think about it as your vocal folds. They're tiny because when you sing, they close and become a very small gap for air to go through. Now, if I was to pull this and then I have got air in here, and then slowly I'm pushing it steadily. I'll try and do this with liquid here just so you can see. Hopefully I don't mess up my device, but I've got something to hold it in. So I filled it up. Imagine that this blue liquid here is air. And then if I'm going steadily, the sound is going steadily, steadily. If I want to go higher and I'm in the right position in my throat, all I need is a little more pressure and it will shoot up. I don't need to strain or anything. It's just a little more pressure from your instrument. And if I'm pulling and pushing instead of controlling it properly, I would have a problem as well. So sometimes you may have air halfway through, you've not finished using it, and you're trying to get more in. You have a problem with that because your body is a system and overbreathing will cause you issues. Okay, I've noticed that I've spent quite a bit of time on this and I've still not covered all the things I want to cover. I'll do one last one and I move on, which is when we're talking about floating the notes, keeping the notes going and all of that. That's where my next prop comes in. Okay. This is when I talk about singing on the breath. This note, this thing here, imagine it as your sound. When the right breath is there, this is what it should look like. So the sound is floating on the breath. If I go too much, it goes higher within the space of the thing. Okay, it doesn't have to be harsh. Let me bring the piano here. Oh, if I told you that note I sang there is a B, like it's a B5. It's a note that many people can't sing. Many tenors will struggle with. So why did you do it so easily? Oh, that's because I'm supporting the voice and I'm letting the sound carry it. You see, if you can make a falsetto, you can make the sound. I mean, of course, that depends on your vocal texture anyway. So make all the falsetto you want as a bass. You may not be able to sing it because of your thing in there. Okay, so that's right. Let's check how people are getting on so far. How is it going for you guys? Vicky says, wow. Okay, I'm hoping that you're picking something there, which makes me really, really happy. Now, how then do you do support? That lip trill exercise we did before, do it again. But this time, put your free hand, just put your hand on your belly, right? And then maybe just you can hold it up a little bit there. And try to go higher. What you will notice is the more you want to go higher, the more the muscles, you feel more tension down here. Or hum. You can do the hum. Hum and try to hum louder. You will notice that the more when you want to go louder, there's more tension down here. This is where there should be tension, not here. Not here. That is that support going there. Okay, so you get that bit. I want to talk about the fact that have you recorded yourself before and you don't like the sound of your voice in the recording? Has that happened to anybody here? Because if it has, then you're not alone. It's universal. Again, this is because the vibrations going on in your body, you also hear it in your internal hearing. But what the recording is showing you, that's actually your real voice, and that's what you can work with because it doesn't have your internal sensations with it. Okay. Right. So let the audience do the listening. You do the feeling, do the sensation. I spent time to talk about sensing your actual vocal mechanism. So breathe deep like the syringe. Oh, where's my syringe? I don't know where I've dropped it. Ah, voila. So when you're breathing, breathe deep, 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 deep breath. Deep, downward and round. Not big air, deep breath. Okay? And then keep the support steady. Remember, keep it. And then, like the ball, my floating thing, and like the lip trill and the hum that we did, keep that support steady. Space open, like the start of a yawn. When you trust this setup, the way the violinist will trust everything set up like that, then you find yourself worrying less about the sound because the sound will happen. And as that trust grows, when you are trusting your body better, your attention comes free and is exactly where part 2 will begin. So let's step on stage. And this is where I talk about performance and stage presence.
All right.
And I'll start with a question. Please respond. In your view, when does your performance actually begin? And while you're typing, really think carefully, because the obvious answer is usually the wrong one. When does your performance actually begin? Oh, there's some questions coming in. Okay, someone says, is it professional for one's chest to physically vibrate while sustaining a high note with vibrato? The word is not, is it professional? It's not about professionalism. When the sound waves are going, you might feel some sensations in your body. That's not a problem. But if you're talking about puffing it up and down and moving it, maybe no. Right from my rehearsals. Okay. Chijioka, note your question, please. We'll try and get back to it, okay? So, okay, I'm seeing some good answers there. Your performance starts, it begins really the moment the audience can see you, and sometimes earlier, maybe when they see your name in a program. Okay, so when you watch a great soloist walk out, before even a single sound is made, they've already told you, I'm glad to be here. I have something for you. Relax, you're in safe hands. And all of this that I've said now, it arrives through the walk, the posture, the breath they take before they begin. On the other hand, when you see a nervous performer, it's a different story. They're rushing, rush steps, maybe looking down, looking around, straight to position. They start the song as fast as possible. So it's all about, I want to get the scary part over. You're thinking about what is difficult rather than enjoying yourself. And the thing is that the audience reads it instantly. And then something worse starts to happen. They start feeling nervous for you, which is what in psychology we call it emotional contagion. It's happened to you before. You've been there, you saw a performer, you're like, they are nervous. And it stops you enjoying the show. Okay, so, but the good news is that when you're calm and warm, also, you get to choose what you spread. People get to feel that with you. So if you're thinking about owning the stage, practice your entrance like the same way you practice the song. And I mean it literally. Walk into your practice room like it's the biggest hall in the country. Find your spot, stand there, breathe, look up and out. Take 1 second of silence. Before I sing anywhere, I just stand and look, and then I smile. And then I take that breath and release it. Then look at the pianist or whoever, if it's an orchestra, look at the conductor, and then give a nod, right? That silence, let it ring, it's okay. It may feel like forever to you, but to the audience, that is the one single thing that signals confidence much more than anything else. You're there, you realize, look, I'm here now. They are looking at me because they think I can do it. This belongs to me now. This instrument is my instrument. You're owning the space that way. That's the thought that starts you to own the space. And the same applies at the end. The song isn't finished when the sound stops. Hold the last moment. Let the silence ring. If you drop your arms and switch off the second the note ends, you've told everyone that the whole thing that you did was literally some bad homework, that you were happy that you finished. But stay with it. Let them come out of the music before you do. And all of this, so the entrance, the held silence, the way you receive the applause at the end, because sometimes people may be clapping and some don't know what to do. Take it in, take it in. It's appreciation, take it in. When you do that, when it's, and you even give it back, as it were, all of this together is what is called showmanship. And showmanship, when you do it right, is simply you taking care of the audience's whole experience. From the moment they see you to the moment you leave. Even the bow is part of it. Take the applause gracefully, because when you're rushing off the stage, you're really telling people, your thanks, all this, your thank you and appreciation is embarrassing me. I don't want it. Okay, and another thing I want to talk about is a big shift I want you to make, which has nothing to do with technique right now. It's just a shift of intention. A lot of good singers, when they perform, they're basically just demonstrating. It's like, listen to this sound I can make. And yeah, fair enough. You've worked hard on it, on the instrument. You want to show it off. But when you're just demonstrating, or what, you are singing at people. But the performers we remember are not those that sing at us. They are the people that sing to us, to people. So before even the first bar, you've decided what you're actually going to sing. Who am I saying? Who am I saying this to? So take any song now, and just think about it. It might be a hymn, whatever. Think this way. Okay, let's say Ave Maria. Ave Maria. Who is speaking in this song? What do they want right now in this moment? Who am I saying this to? Am I saying it to someone? Am I saying it to God, myself, all three? And why must I say this now? What's going to happen just a second before the sound comes? This is how you get ready. So the music is going da 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 da. When you are not ready. Ave Maria. You send it there. In my head right now, what I'm thinking is, let me give these lovely people listening to me a little experience of a song I enjoy. And hopefully you received it. Everyone knows the Hallelujah chorus, but people hardly pay attention to what it means. They hardly pay attention to the fact that when Handel wrote it, it was a moment of glory for him. And they hardly pay attention even to the words. So you hear people say, King of Kiss, Lords of Lust, and so on. It's just miss the whole point. But when you connect with what you're doing and you decide to create a moment and tell a story, things change. Okay. Saying it like you mean it makes all the difference. If I say to you, I am happy to be here. And if I say, I am happy to be here. And I say, I am happy to be here. And I say, I am happy to be here. You probably know the one that you believe me more. You probably know the one that made you feel, oh yeah. This is again what we can do with words. And this is where expression and phrasing and dynamics start to come in your performance. Work with the words, know what you're singing, know what story you want to tell, and know where are you going to stretch it out. There's a concept called messa di voce, which is where you go from soft to loud and loud to soft. So on a note, it's going to be like, and you can do this on any note, on any pitch, if you get the position right. It's like you're allowing the voice to place where it needs to be. Now, when you apply this in singing, let me see. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. It's a common song. I can do amazing grace, how sweet the amazing grace, how sweet the sound. It probably feels better, different. So work with the color of the music, give it some color, let it grow and fade as things go along. Again, this is performance, and there's your face, is part of the show. Some people keep contouring, if you're not good, it's good to look at how it work. And you can carry a lot of expression in the face. Let's do Ave Maria at a wedding where we're excited and we're praying for angels to bless the wedding. Ave Maria. And let's do it at a funeral where we're praying, trying to console the mourners and asking angels to take the soul of the dead. Ave Maria. can feel the difference in my face. The sound changed a little bit as well. Okay. Right. I'll talk about legato a lot. One of the things I see, I hear a lot with Nigerian singers and choirs is where we start to chop songs up like we're chopping onions. You know, last night I lay sleeping, there came a dream so fair. You know, just like not, we just like to chop it, Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. That is not sweet.
Sorry, that one's funny.
It's not. Okay, we can actually really think of butter. You know, make it nice. When you heard that song and you liked it, it wasn't sung in that choppy, uninteresting way. That's not good performance. Yeah. All right, let's talk about mistakes then and being nervous. Now, you know, what gives you confidence on stage is how well you know your instrument. You now know that, okay, I can tell if this high note will work or not because am I in the right position? So let's say my throat is my thing. I haven't taken it deep. I go, oh, I know that will happen. But if I, I'm not tensed, I'm not nervous because I know I've taken the right amount of air. I know that I've stayed in the right position. I know the sound will come out right. What about when you don't know the words? I hear you, Uncle Ben. I'm scared of making mistakes. Yes, you will make mistakes in your performance. All of you. It will be cracked notes. It will be forgotten words. It will be getting late entry. You know, maybe the page I was on the stage singing was the person turning the stage turned at the wrong time. Turning the page. They turned it at the wrong time, and it was a disaster because now the pianist is struggling to catch, and it's happened while I'm accompanying somebody as well. So over a lifetime of singing, this is a certainty. It will happen. Let's plan for it instead of dreading it. I did a show when I was singing Nessun Drum. I got to Vincero, and what I heard was Vincero. I'm like, whoop. Yeah, it's Pavarotti it has happened to him. This happens to everybody. It's okay. But if you remember one sentence from tonight, let it be this one. The audience reacts far less to your mistake than to your reaction to your mistake. The audience reacts far less to your mistake than to your reaction to your mistake. Okay, so I want to sing the words are Dile guanote, Dile guanote, and then I forget, I mix my words. Dile guanote, and I pull a face. They wonder what's going on. But at the time, if I carry on with that sound, they don't care. They don't care. So panicking immediately you make a mistake is the problem. But stuff happens. Let it go. Let it go. Mistakes, they are real, but the reaction is what makes the difference. So in other words, put it this way, give yourself permission to get it wrong sometimes. It's okay. There's no one there trying to mark you. It's not an exam. It's not an exam at all. We've started treating, a lot of us treat performance as an exam, as if someone is there marking. Tonight, I'd like you to know that that's not what it is. They're not there to grade you. They're hoping to feel something from you. They're quietly on your side, actually. I don't know if you've gone for a show and all you had in mind is, let's see how they will mess up. I don't think so. You went there to have fun, okay? The nerves you feel before you sing, do you know what those really, really are? Because I don't want you to stop being nervous. You don't get nervous about things you don't care about. Nobody has ever been nervous doing something meaningless. So that pounding heart, the pound you feel there is a warning, it's evidence, it's proof that it matters to you. It's arriving as energy in the body. They're nearly the same state physically. Physiologically, there's no difference between nervousness and excitement. And up till now, and I've been singing for many years, and I've sung in very, very, very important places. I still feel the butterflies in my stomach before I climb on stage. Even before this session this evening, I said to Mark, "Oh, I'm feeling a bit nervous." And he goes, Baba, this, that, and that, and that. You know, it's your body telling you this matters to me. Okay? There's some research on stage fright that found that performers who were told that they were feeling excitement rather than nervous, they were much better at calming down. That's why, because what you're feeling in your body is not threat. You say to yourself, yeah, I'm excited actually. That's why this feels like this in my body. I care about this. It makes a difference. So the next time you feel all of those things, please remember, it's your proof that you care. Your body is using energy to show you really care about your art. And what you can do is take all of that energy, spend it on the music, share it. Okay? Right. I'm going to close this session, this particular section now. It's we're at the hour mark, and then we can take some questions because under everything I've said so far tonight, there's really one idea. And that idea is that a performance is a gift, and the audience is the point. It was never an exam, no matter how much it felt like one. The nervous performer is silently asking, please think I'm good, please think I'm good. That's what a nervous performer is saying in their head. And then every choice bends towards protecting themselves.
Right.
Now that you know the science of why your room can smell it, as a confident performer, you can now start to ask a completely different question, which is, rather than please think I'm good, what you in your head is, what can I give my lovely audience tonight?
That's right.
The voice hasn't changed, and yet the
Right.
evening is completely different because generosity reads right from the back right there. You're just giving it to everybody. And one last point that makes a performance memorable is letting the audience be a part of it. And I know this is not always possible, but whenever possible, please use it. People remember what they did far more than what they watched. If I was just speaking to you today, it would have been a different experience to the experience I believe you've had, where you've had to be part of what we're doing. You've had to check things yourself. You've had to type to me. Okay? I've just engaged you as an audience right now, the person. An audience that sat and listened had an experience, but an audience that clapped, answered back, carried the chorus with you, they were part of your performance. And being part of something writes it into the memory in a way that watching would never do.
True. 100.
And something happens to you as a performer too in that moment. When an audience responds, their energy comes back across the room to you. And suddenly you're not producing the performance alone. You're in exchange, and the exchange feels good. It fits you. It steadies your nerves better, much more than any technique that I could stand here and talk to you. So you already know this from church, right? When you sing and the congregation answers back and they start, the move immediately changes. So yes, keep doing the technical work in your. I think you've got 2 more sessions to go, and and long after that, honor your instrument. It carries everything, and the instrument is you. And whatever they teach you next, please ask one question of it, which is, what does it feel like in my body? Answer that, and you'll keep it forever, because your body talks to you. It's what can tell you, oh, did I take that breath? Is that the right amount or not? Is this supporting or not? And then you can course correct. But every time you stand in front of people from tomorrow onward, make one decision. Before you even make a sound, the decision is, tonight is for them. I've got something that God has given me that I'm going to share right now. I'm grateful that I'm able to share this gift, this thing, this moment. There might be one person in that audience that your song will be what will give them hope that they've been looking for. There might be one person that in your song, a word in your song that you weren't even thinking about will be the answer they required to a prayer. There might be one person that will give them courage, reassurance, happiness, whatever it is. Now, I don't know which of these ideas will find you. Maybe at your next rehearsal, you catch yourself standing differently before the first note comes out of your mouth, or maybe a big note is approaching and you see a rubber band stretching instead of seeing a mountain that you have to climb. Or maybe you're warming up in the morning, you're doing lip trills, you're bubbling, you've got hand on your belly, and you feel the muscles working and you smile. Maybe one evening your heart starts pounding and you hear yourself thinking, "Ooh, this is proof that I care. This is free energy that I can share and use." I don't know, but what I do know is that something from tonight goes on with you, and it will surface exactly when you need it. And when it does, people will start coming to you afterwards, struggling to explain what it was exactly. They will say, "I don't know, but there was something about it. There was something about your performance." That something has a name. It's you finally performing instead of just singing. Okay, thank you. Let's some questions and all of that.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Ben, Uncle Ben, for this lecture, man. I'm touched. Okay, so during the session we have few persons note down or ask a couple questions, which I'm going to bring up. I know you asked Hyacinth Chidioke that you're going to go back to.
Yes, let's start with that one. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up his question again. I'm going through the comment section currently to find it. Okay, so found it. So here's Hyacinth asking.
Okay, so Hyacinth says, "Awesome, this is exceptional. Thank you, Hyacinth. I appreciate that." Said, "Please, sir, kindly throw more light on the singing through your air technique while still having support without losing your breath." Singing through your air technique, I don't know what that is, but I suppose what you mean is using your air and singing on the breath. So your air is not doing the singing. Your air is vibrating. Your air is causing the vocal cords to vibrate. That's what the air is. Now, when you breathe and you hold it, you can do this with me, everybody, just to get a sense of this. Breathe and expand all around, then hold it and then start going like you're making the S sound, like you're saying, calling someone, but keep yourself expanded. Now I'm out of air, but I'm still expanded. You can breathe again. Don't collapse. Keep it expanded. Breathe again. Right. Now, this is what you're doing with the air. And that is what I think you're talking about. And if I've misunderstood you, maybe you come on live and then you can ask it. Yeah. This is to not lose your breath. Simply mean if you breathe properly, you will not lose your breath. Again,
true.
So when you do that humming, the way it feels here is how you should feel when you're singing here. And once that is out of the way, you suddenly find that you're not terrified about your breath anymore. Because the reason you were terrified about it in the first place is that you are not supporting it properly. So practice breathing in full so you feel your back expand, feel your side expand. You know, when you breathe, just really, really, really imagine that. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, then without coming back down. Okay? Let's know if that answers your question. Okay, bring up another question, Matt. Let's see.
Okay, so I'm going to bring
Thank you, Maria. I can see your comment. Yeah, let's speak a few more.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up Agatha. Agatha Tatiog is asking.
Hi, Agatha. How does one breathe down? I'm confused. I actually tried doing it immediately and mentioned it, but I couldn't achieve that. Okay, right. So,
right.
Agatha, think about the fact that your lungs are here and your diaphragm actually goes down when you breathe, period. Okay? Now, when you go to breathe, make this movement with your hand, as if you wanted to take a big yawn. and then hold it and feel where in your body how deeply you went. A yawn will always make you go deep, actually.
True.
Hold it.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. So in singing, think about, if you think about a yawn in singing and you start to yawn, it will get in the way of the singing. But think more like a surprise. Yeah. So practice that. Now, bear in mind, maybe your muscles haven't been used to this, so it will take some practice. One other thing to do is when you breathe in, squat down as you're breathing in. Go down into a squat as you're breathing in. Then as you're breathing out, slowly start coming up. Slowly start coming up. Do it for 5 breaths, and then do the opposite. So stay in a squat and breathe, and then start coming up as you're breathing out. That would help that muscle antagonism to start to build. Okay.
Wow, that's a great one. Thank you so much, Uncle Ben, for that. And as usual, if you have any question, you
there are some
cannot
questions
type.
I can see here that we must not
Express yourself. Please always indicate through the chat group, and I will add you on stage so you could ask the speaker live.
Yeah, I would like that. So Gracie says, sorry, sir, can I take you back on the vowels? About singing vowels without moving your lips or widening them, just to make those vowels visible. Does it work on all songs? Yes, it does. So you should, in fact, the idea of legato is that you just stay on the vowels. The consonants are what come with the teeth and the lips. That's where the consonants are. But the vowels don't need the lips to be produced. In fact, when we are practicing for a show or something, one good practice is to practice your entire song on the vowel alone, without the words. Before I can go, so all those other consonants are just kind of riding on top of the vowels. Okay. Yes, it can work on every song. But you got to practice first making the vowel sounds without moving your lips, making them here, not here. So instead of ooh, this ooh is here, ooh is here. A bit like, let's say you've not used the toilet for a while, or you're constipated and you go that ooh, ooh. What you're engaging right there is that those are actually the muscles that support you. And that ooh, that sound goes right here. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question.
All right, so I'm going to bring up by the way, that was a wonderful question, Best Gracie. I'm going to bring up on stage another question here from Chiamaka. Okay, that's not a question.
Oh, Chiamaka, thank you. Say an incredible teacher. God bless you for sharing your voice and making an impact from the depth of your heart. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Chiamaka. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to bring Emmanuel.
Okay.
All right, Emmanuel.
Okay, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
How can I add proper emotions to my singing? I love that question. And how rewarding is it for you to blend public speaking and singing? I don't know what you mean, but the second one, I suppose you're asking me about money. If you're asking me about money, then that's not what this is about. But I can share a little bit about my experience. How rewarding anyway, 100% rewarding. I enjoy it. I love it. And it works. How can I add proper emotions to my singing? If I was talking to you right now, if you were on live here, Emmanuel, the first thing I would ask you is what you think. How do you think you can do that? And I would hope that the answer you give me is that the way you add proper emotion to your singing is to first feel the emotion. You cannot give what you don't have. When you feel the emotion, so I'm going to tell you about a star. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Okay? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world, so high, like a diamond in the sky. Another one now, I'm feeling a different emotion. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world, so high, like a diamond in the sky. Two opposite ones. I'll give another emotion. This time, the first one was excitement. The other one was like despair. I'll do sadness without my hands working. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. You probably felt my emotion. I even teared up a little bit there. Okay. And then I can have a curiosity. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Yeah. And I can be, give me another one emotion, Mark. Give me a few emotions and I can show that.
Maybe caught up in a dilemma.
In a dilemma, so confusion. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky.
Right.
So basically, you got to feel the emotion first. And one easy way to feel an emotion is think about something that gives you that emotion.
That's right.
Literally, once you think about it, because emotions are chemicals in the body. They are not just concept, they are physical stuff happening in your body. So, and the way your body works, the brain works, is when you think about that, it starts loading up everything that's connected with it. So if I say to you, think about the thing that made you most excited the past 3 months. As the thought is coming, your body starts to get into an excitement state, because that's how it's trying to sort out what's going on. So the best way to add proper emotions to your singing is feel it. Feel it either in the message you decide you're going to share, or feel it by recalling a previous experience or thought about that. Thank you. Okay.
So in other words, find a story in your life and connect to the emotions with the song.
Yeah. In fact, bring all of you into it. Bring all of you. You are your instrument, and that instrument's got your brain, that's got your memories and your emotions.
That's right.
Thanks, Maria. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to bring another question from Abel. Abel is asking,
how do you advise an individual who seems to sing higher than others when singing in a particular section of a choir? When you say higher, do you mean pitch or do you mean louder?
I think he's got a second clause to that question too. How can one be comfortable in their own voice when singing?
I really wish Abel can come live on here, because that question is an interesting one. How can you be comfortable in your voice, in your own voice when singing? I have a cheeky answer, which is, how can you be comfortable in your own face while walking? It's your voice, it's what you've got. I can tell you, I spent years in my life trying to be Pavarotti, trying to be Bocelli, trying to be Domingo, trying to be everything but myself. The moment I became myself and found my own voice, I got the biggest, strongest, wildest reactions from the audience and from people that invite me to sing. And yes, you may think that someone else's voice sounds nicer than yours. But who is measuring that? You. When people hear you, can they say, oh, that's Emmanuel. Ah, that's Ben singing. Or do you sound like everyone else? That's not my voice. That's not my voice. Okay? So being comfortable in your own voice has everything to do with being comfortable in who you are as a person. That question tells me that maybe you lack confidence in yourself as a person for some reason, and I don't know what it is. But start to accept you for you, because listen, Abel, rather, not Emmanuel. Listen, Abel, there's only one you in this life, and life will never be the same without you. Life will continue if you're not here, but it will not be the same life. You are that important that you're still alive. Otherwise, you won't be here. Your job would have been done. So when you start to accept yourself as a unique representation of the Creator that is so important that you've got a gift and you're still here, you own it like you're living in your Father's world, because it is. Okay. And about singing higher, again, I'm not sure if it's pitch or volume. If you can clarify, I can attempt to answer.
All right, Abel, the floor is, you have the floor. Please send me a DM on the page or my personal chat, and I will bring you on stage. So we're moving forward to Abba Benedict. Abba Benedict is asking my
Right,
question.
Benedict. But what are those things to be
Yeah.
considered while singing for your audience to feel like the feeling? Since music is a storytelling, what are those things to be considered while singing? I'm not very sure. The question is clear to me, but what I'm reading into it is, what mindset should you be in to ensure that you're telling a story while you're singing? And that would be everything I've been speaking about. Really starts with how you show up, the thought in your head, which is the thought. For me, the single thing that makes a big difference is the difference between I'm going to have so much fun now and this audience will have that fun with me, versus, oh heck, I'm scared, I think I'm going to mess this up. Is the difference between those two. When you are sure that you're going to have fun, and you commit to yourself, I'm going to enjoy this. I might mix the words up, but I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to tell a story. Then you tell a story. How do you tell a story? The way you tell a compelling story is, if I say to you, see, while I was preparing for this session today, and my son, and he's 8, so he came to me and he said, Daddy, are you preparing for a session? And I looked at him and I said, yes, I am. And in that moment, he went, Daddy. Now, do you guess I'm making up this story, but right now you're engaged. You're waiting for what I'm going to say, because
Right.
I'm telling you a story. I'm talking about my son. Okay. But if I said to you, yeah, while I was preparing today, and my son, who is 8, he just came to me and said, Daddy, are you preparing for a session? You probably have tuned out. So a storytelling is about you're communicating meaning, you're communicating emotion, you're communicating sentiments, you're communicating color, light and shade, and you're creating suspense. So there's a song I like, La Girometa. It goes, Girometa, Girometa, Girometa come vo grambe, Girometa come vo grambe. And then the end, it ends with that, Girometa. Why go just go, Girometa? That's boring. Girometa. Everyone's smart. That Girometa. I pause. Da is a suspense moment. So the elements of a good story is, it's got structure. It's going from somewhere to somewhere. It has lights and shade. The crescendos and the diminuendos there. You may have some phrasing there, the legato and the staccato. How are you using those? Most of the time, I was working with Matt on a particular piece of music some time ago. Matt, you remember? And I said to him, look at the score. Look at what's on the score. And he sang what was on the score and nearly broke down crying, because for the first time he looked at the full expressions on the score. Like, oh, that's a story there. There's something about that. And then when you start with that, because usually you will see the colorations on there as a guide, and then you bring your own meaning into it. What does this song mean to you? You will tell a really, really good story. Okay, so it's all in the mind. It's an intention thing. All right, that was a good question,
Great.
Benedict.
Very good one, Bennett. Thank you so much for that answer, Uncle Ben. So we have, I'm going to bring up, I think Abel is trying to say something, and I think he's adding a point to his question. He's asking
Okay,
one who sings louder than the other. So I'm
right.
going to bring a place, a very interesting eye opening. How do you advise? Okay, how do you advise one who sings louder than others? Who seem to have high others?
You're asking, what advice would I give someone who sings louder than others? The advice is simple: tone it down. That's it. Don't overshadow everyone else,
Right,
because then it's only your voice that will
actually,
be heard. From a technique
actually,
perspective, there's a chance you're pushing your voice, because if I'm reading into that question that you're struggling to bring it down, the reason you struggle to bring it down is because you're not supporting the voice, so you're pushing it. You can only drive, you can only sing high notes, you know. this is me singing PP on a very high note, because I can do it. And that's because I am not pushing. If you can't bring it down at all, then you're not really holding things properly. So you're pushing. So what I will advise you would be, and forget about the high notes for the practice. Start with the low ones. Start practicing that mesa de voce. Start practicing starting. Start practicing that. And when we're going down, it's not collapsing. You don't collapse. You keep the support still, and just reduce the pressure. The pressure. I'm trying to find the pressure. Okay, so soft notes have a lot of support, but the pressure is different. The pressure is different to produce that. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to bring out, due to time, I'm going to bring out Abigail. Abigail has a question, a very interesting one.
Yeah.
And she's asking, when you're performing in the middle of a performance, the accompaniment go off as a performer. When light and instrument reactivate, do you start the song all over again?
Yes, I will. It's happened to me before, and I did. And when it went off, I simply said to the audience, "Whoops! Stay tuned. Let's fix this." And they laughed. And it's happened where in Nigeria, I traveled to Nigeria to perform, and the thing went off mid-performance. And I went, "Oops! Up NEPA." And then and up NEPA is what happens when light comes. But when I said up NEPA, and I was like, actually, no, it's not up NEPA yet. Everybody laughed. It's part of the show. It's part of the performance. It's not within my control. Yeah. If I panic and suddenly think that the light has gone off, therefore I'm a bad performer, that's me drinking Panadol, so another person their headache will go. It won't work that way. That power going was not within my control. So why should I bother about it? It's not me in that moment. And I care about my audience. Hey, audience, I'm here to entertain you, to perform to you. The power has gone, but you've got me. I am the performer, not the power. But I'm not going to continue the song without the accompaniment anyway. So we'll wait. That's what will be in my head, right? It all happened. It's all about your composure right there. And will I start the song all over again? Yes, I will. Sometimes I've been on stage and we had a false start. So the pianist finished playing, and then I realized I'm going to come in a little late, and I pause, take a few breaths, look at the pianist, and give a sign. Let's start all over again. And I said to the audience, we'll take it again. And it's also a sign of confidence. It only takes a confident person to pause a performance and restart without going all jittery. Okay? All right. Yeah. Well, up to the time mark now. And here's what I can tell everybody. You guys are awesome. I have had a thoroughly wonderful time. This is what I live for, to share whatever I know. And you guys have been a fantastic and engaging audience. And I am rooting for all of you. I believe in you. That thing you've got is a gift, is a treasure. Enjoy it. Okay? And for you, Matt,
right?
Wow. I mean, the comments here speak for themselves. You're an amazing guy. Look at all you've pulled together, and you're giving back. You also receive. So thank you.
Oops. Okay, I think it's breaking for a bit, but I don't know. Can anyone hear me? I will stay on the live. The network is just happening just at the end. That's good. Can anyone hear me? It's skipping a bit. Up. Okay, I'm going to bring Uncle Ben back for his salutation. Uncle Ben, I'm sorry. I think the network glitched a bit, so we didn't get to the last part.
Yes, so I was saying to everybody, thank you so much for having me, and I've had a very good time, and I appreciate you guys. I believe in you. I do believe in you. Use your gift. Is great, and enjoy it. Share what you've got.
Thank you so much.
And Matt, I was saying to you, well done for organizing such beautiful sessions. And I was telling you that what you give may come back to you. And to everyone listening here, it wouldn't have worked today if you weren't here. So I appreciate you from my heart for being so engaging, so committed to this, and for doing this with me. We did it together. So thank you, everybody. And yeah, I believe in you. I wish you well.
Thank you so much, Uncle Ben. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I think you've heard it from our speaker. I want to use this medium to also thank Uncle Ben. There's one thing about people who dash out gratitude, they don't always get it back. But I want to let you know that you're phenomenal, you're fantastic, you're amazing. And most of you know Uncle Ben. I mean, if you are a Nigerian classical singer or you take first business in Nigeria, that you must have heard of Uncle Ben one or two way or the other, how he has impacted on young emerging talent and artists, including myself. So I want to say thank you so much. It's been matter of fact, he's traveling any moment from now. He's not stable, but he had to squeeze in 1 hour 30 minutes to give us this masterclass. And I promise you, this is an eye opener. Just like someone said on the comment section, it is an eye opener for me also, and I am grateful. The good thing about this masterclass is I am hosting it, but I'm even earning, learning from the process and the teaching. So I just want to say thank you so much, Uncle Ben. And to every other person, learning is a continuous process. And like I always tell you guys, seize every opportunity you have to learn. It's a wrap now, and I want to say thank you so much for streaming. As usual, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also follow Uncle Ben. If you can check Uncle Ben on all social platforms, follow him, and make sure you keep to tabs because he do dish out free masterclass on his page about life. So he's a phenomenal person there. So trust me, it's one person you want to keep in your corner. Thank you so much, Uncle Ben. We'll then call this a wrap. Bye bye now. Please don't forget, guys, follow the page. As usual, keep to the means of operation. Try to keep it slim so that we get people who are not here come and be able to watch the live. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed. If you're streaming this live and you have not clicked the subscribe button, you are wrong. Our next session is going to be was supposed to be tomorrow, but due to one or two circumstances, we won't be having Dr. Amar. She has rescheduled for sometime in April, first week of April. So we'll be having her first upper Saturday, which is going to be in August. Sorry, I said April, August. So our next speaker is going to be Kuka, and it is another time for you to come experience from a shared beauty. She's a practicing opera singer in the scene, and I promise you, you do not want to miss that session. All right, now, don't forget, subscribe, like, very important. Bye-bye now. We call this a wrap. Forgive me, not April, Chidioke. I said August. Anyways, I'm going to communicate further on the page. Yeah. All right. Bye bye, guys. See you all.